Hey guys, John Adams, Modern Design Aquascaping. Today we have made a trip out here to Maryville, Tennessee to one of our most amazing projects that we've ever done. This pond and waterfall just won us a national award for most naturalistic water feature. My team is super proud. What we're doing today is we're going to slip in here. We're actually bringing some of the magazines to the homeowners with the article in it, and we've also got them a matching trophy to the one that we got to put on the shelf in their house. So we're going to meet with them, give them the trophy, and then we're going to just show you guys what an amazing project this is a little more in depth. Let's go check it out. This is your guys' version of the most naturalistic water feature. So we definitely, I say we drew the lucky straw on that one, but my team's good.
Well, that's awesome. That's my favorite spot, is right on this side of that tree, because you can look down, see the fish, the waterfalls. So I want that tree to grow and give me some shade so I can have my favorite chair up there.
Right.
Awesome. A couple of years probably.
First of all, you want to check this out. This whole area right here is actually the intake of the pond. All the pumps are located underneath the gravel back here, and everything that happens flow-wise in this water feature happens right here. So the pumps pull all the water in through these stones, and you can see a little bit of water movement right there. Basically, it sweeps all the debris off the surface, and it comes right into this area. You can come in, gently remove stuff, pick the leaves out. This serves basically as a giant skimmer for a water feature of this size. My buddy MJ Wilson from the UK was over here about a month ago, and he was actually one of the judges that picked this as the most naturalistic feature. And I'll play you a little clip of what he thought about it.
It's more about the pond for me, and to be asked to judge beautiful water features, I can truly say that this is the best pond from a most naturalistic water feature that I've ever seen, and I'm so glad that you won most naturalistic water feature, because this is truly the best water feature from a most naturalistic point of view that I've seen and I've been doing it for all my life. This is 30 years of experience here, guys. This is better in my eyes than Mother Nature. And all I want to do as Mark, the pond advisor, is help people dream, plan and enjoy ponds and water features, and this has just made my trip. This is absolutely fantastic. I'm getting emotional because this is passion. This is not weakness, guys. I love my job. I really do. Thanks.
After he voted on it and found out that it belonged to us and that we were the creators of this water feature, we had to bring him over here and let him experience it firsthand, because as you know, you can't look at a picture or a video of a water feature and really get the same feeling and experience that you're going to get from that water feature by actually being there. So this is my moment to tell you, get off your couch, get outside and enjoy nature. Let's go ahead and just walk around the feature, and let me show you some of the really cool items that we've put in here. Let me show you what an interaction area is. We do a lot of things with our water features that encourage people to interact with the pond, with the fish, just anything you can do to get people to put their feet in the water. That's what this is. There's another one right over on the other side, an interactive stone. This stone actually hangs over the edge of the pond a little bit, so you can sit right down here, put your feet in the water. Look at these fish. These guys are all Japanese fish that we brought in, and most of them I got when they were little bitty fish, 4 or 5 inches long. And that's been over a decade ago for most of them, up to 20 some years for Chester. I've had him almost as long as my oldest child. And he has kids too. I'm a grandpa 7 times over. Look at this right here. You see this tiny waterfall coming down over here in the corner? There's actually a fish cave. That fish cave.
10-hour fish cave we got there.
A fish cave is a protective area where your fish can go and hide during their dormancy or when they feel threatened by predators. And that's a really important part of construction of a quality koi pond, is that there's somewhere that the fish can go to get away from nature, because everything likes to eat fish, unfortunately.
It's gonna be a light right on top, pointing up into what's gonna be a waterfall above my head. It's gonna be one of the secret falls.
I'm sure Tristan could swim through it. Might be a tight fit, but he could fit.
4 feet deep in a pond in a cave. That's how it goes sometimes.
So if you look at the top of this, let's talk about one of the things that I think really got us to the most naturalistic award are all these tiny waterfalls that are in here. We really spend a lot of time out in nature in areas looking at natural waterfalls and trying to recreate that in our own work. And several of these boulders are like almost 10,000-pound rocks, but you have these tiny little falls that are sneaking out in different places. And we're utilizing the natural nooks and crannies of the stone to put water flowing where it looks like it would do so in nature. And that's a big part of it. So we've got all of the water and all of the pumps are flowing into the intake bay over here. And then we've got water that comes out in jets. So we create circulation, and there's a little bit of movement you can see on the surface over there. We've basically created a flow of water where it comes down that pushes all the way around the pond in a kind of a circular pattern, so that it encourages any debris that gathers on the surface to go around the outside and into that intake bay where it can be easily removed. Other pumps run up and just create these tiny little waterfalls. So instead of putting a huge pump on here that uses a ton of electricity, we've actually used 5 smaller pumps that are very energy efficient, and we just put them right in their perfect habitat where they operate at their optimum efficiency and really give you your best bang for your buck. So you move as much water as possible with as little electricity as possible. And I think that's a big part of being environmentally friendly and recreating nature, is to not just be ridiculous with your power consumption. So let's move on up and look at the filter system, and then we'll pay a little more attention to what the waterfalls look like over here in the back. So this whole area right here is what we call an upflow wetland filter. If you've ever had a fish tank with an under gravel filter, this works a lot like that. Just imagine that there's 20 tons of gravel in this filter. All of the things that filter water in nature, it's the same things happening here. You see here water coming out. You see over there water coming out. These are actually just jets. A couple of the high efficiency pumps down there push water up in here into the top just to get it moving, to give you the volume that you need to really give you a great waterfall on the other end. And I think that's a big part of what's going on here, is the amazing waterfalls.
All right, so as much as I love the artistic standpoints and all the different waterfalls and everything we got going on, one of my favorite parts that most people don't ever really pay attention to, me being a musician, is the sound, the different pitches you get from the waterfalls. Some of them are falling into deeper pools, some of them are falling onto rocks and splatter them when it's shallow, but I'm gonna shut up and let you guys actually listen to these sounds for yourself. Let's go. I've actually written music and guitars to the sounds of waterfalls and fountains at the house. And this is exactly what you're looking for in some scenarios. Everything has got its own amount of beauty visually and just the feel when you close your eyes, which I'm not gonna do standing here.
In here in this area, the water is actually this deep. We've created these pooling spaces in between the stones. There's all different types of plants and algae growing down in here. And the lighting that's down inside, underneath this foamy area, creates this dancing firelight that we're always trying to achieve with our water feature. It's a big part. I mean, you see a lot of times, someone will just have a light shining at a waterfall, and the light just sits there. It's just a stable light, which is cool. It looks good, and you couldn't see it otherwise. But when you put that light down in the water in just the right environment, you no longer see the light. You only see the result of the light and the effect that it creates. That's a very important part of your artistic aspects of your water feature. In this pond, we actually separated the lighting so that when the landscape matures, basically the goal was you can light up underwater and see the fish. You can light up all of the waterfalls and see the falls. But then when you've got bigger plants and you get to nighttime, you're viewing from inside the home out through the windows, all of a sudden you have the ability to turn off the lights in the pond. What that does is it makes the surface go black, and all of a sudden now you have the reflective effect from the landscape lighting. And so you can entirely change what you see from outside, turn the flashlights off of the fish so that they can chill out a little bit at night, and you get a whole different look. Let's walk around the other side. I want to show you how we utilize some driftwood. We've got an awesome carnivorous plant pocket. I love to do carnivorous plants. Look at these beautiful stones. All of these are integrated into the side of the pond. So the pond liner is behind all of these boulders. That allows us to create all of these amazing micro environments, if you will, or microclimates within the edge of the pond. And I think that edge work is what really takes a water feature to the next level.
The water crashes down on the right-hand side and then it gets split. That is really, that rock is just truly amazing. Just that natural crease, and for you to see that the water would do that, and that's where most people miss. That's crazy.
We spent 6 weeks out here busting this thing out, and I know you've got a lot to say about it. It's got a big place in your heart, and this is only your second water feature that won a national award, so saying.
Really, this entire spot that's going on in here, we've got the carnivorous plants, which is something I really love to do. It's something you don't see very often. You've got the piece of driftwood that's in the side, and that is just one of the coolest pieces of wood. Like, look at that thing. The boulder that's coming out, we've got a crack in the top of it. It's just hidden back there in a spillway, and there was a natural crack in the rock, and we're like, we can definitely make something out of this. And most of the time, it's not even planned. We just have these secret falls, and we just, as we're going along, we find so many different things, like that beautiful stone that's creating that little waterfall. The sheer awesomeness of that rock alone.
This pond is 4 feet deep. I've got a lot of videos of us swimming in it with all these amazing fish. It is not technically a recreation pond. It has submersible pumps. You should have external pumps in order to have a recreation pond that's made for swimming. But if several people accidentally fell in and took 15 or 20 minutes to get back out again, I don't know what you would call that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tour, and we'll bring you out to more amazing projects that we've been lucky enough to be a part of. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I hope you all have a fantastic day.
You guys have gotten so big. So big.